Hello everyone, this is Dan Gramza and welcome to Gramza Market Studies for Friday, May 28th. This is the Memorial Day weekend, so it means that Friday's session and Monday's session will be shortened. For those of you who are watching these videos, and there are people from over 140 countries doing so, and since many of you are not from the United States, I want to let you know what this represents. Memorial Day weekend, or Memorial Day, which is going to be Monday, is a moment that we set aside, a day that we set aside in this country to pay respects to those who have served in our armed forces and have died, and also to the brave men and women who are currently serving in the armed forces for the United States. So when you see someone, if you're an American citizen and you see someone in uniform, I think it's important that we stop and thank them for the service to our country, not just on Memorial Day, but any time we see them. Well, let's look at what happened here on Thursday, for the stock indices that we're looking at here. Well, we saw buyers coming into this market, and they were coming in because China has come out and said they support the European situation. They'll be there to try to help. Well, now here's something we want to think about. It's not going to be today, and it's not going to be Monday. It's going to be Tuesday and Wednesday. That's going to be, I think, the critical action that we're going to be looking for. Now, Friday's action is going to be important because it does set the tone for who's causing this move. In other words, is it just sellers buying it back? Are buyers still going to be here going into the weekend? That's what we're going to see happening today. The critical pieces next week are going to be their ability to give us that follow through. So with that in mind, I wanted to show you here in the S&P, it did trade through this green level here, or this buy level that I consider a buy level for me. And if the difference here between the red line and the green line that you see there, that represents, that is the magnitude there is 45 points or 180 ticks. That's what that would represent. In the Dow, the difference here between that green line and red line there, that would be 360 ticks. And so right now, the critical piece here is going to be follow through. And what does it say to us about these buyers for the next few days here? Now, let's look at the currencies and see what happened there. How did they react to that news that came out? The euro firmed up a little bit. So did the Swissy. We can see here in the Aussie dollar, the market did trade through, again, that green line. Here's the sell point up there at the top. And that difference is 410 ticks. If you look at the Canadian dollar, that also traded through that green line. And that difference between the red and green line is 230 ticks. Now, what does it mean for these currencies? Same issues that we talked about when it comes to the stock indices, and that's going to be follow through. Indeed, our buyers here, well, we need to see their footprints over the next 3 or 4 sessions to give us a level of confidence that we're seeing from those buyers. In the interest rates, well, short end of the curve, 90-day paper, we saw buyers coming back in here, and we're seeing the 10-year notes and the 30-year bonds weaker. We're looking for unchanged type action. We are not looking for a big day down or up in these markets. It's also, again, a measure of that confidence that we're talking about here. If we look at the metals, let's take a look at those guys. Relatively quiet day in gold. Silver was fairly strong, and we're looking for a quiet day today in that as well, and the same thing for copper. Big day yesterday, we're looking for a rest day today in those markets. And if we take a look at energy, crude oil did trade back through this green line here, and in crude oil that difference is $6.60, or that would be 660 ticks is another way to say that. Natural gas, well, some buyers are stepping up here. By the way, this is a July contract. Buyers are stepping up here. We need to see follow through, but I don't think we're going to see it today. Beans, corn, wheat. Well, buyers are coming in. China's buying our corn, actually. That's part of what we're seeing driving this. But again, long term, can we get the follow through that we need to sustain this trend? I still think that remains to be seen. Well, this concludes today's market studies. Looking forward to being with you again. And in the meantime, take care.